You see, you said before that I have a beautiful and unique voice. I thank you.
Yes, I will say this again.
I would like to believe you, but I suppose my modesty does not permit me. As for beauty, it is a matter of loving my kind of voice or not. Some people say I have a beautiful voice. Some people say I have not. It's a matter of opinion. Some people say I have a unique voice, and some people say it's just a whole big lie. That is also a matter of opinion. The only thing I can say is that people who don't like me can just not come and hear me, because when I don't like something, I just don't bother about it. As for unique, I don't know whether it is unique. I think it's not. I think I'm just doing what once upon a time was done. Once upon a time, you see, in the 18th century, when Rossini, Bellini, Donizetti, and other of such composers composed operas for that epoch, that style, and that virtuosismo. You see, once upon a time, sopranos were considered sopranos, not light or heavy or medium or whatever you call it. A soprano was supposed to do every kind of opera. It's like a violinist, a pianist, has to perform any kind of music. They may perform a certain kind of music better because their temperament is for that kind of music more coordinate, more adapted to it. But it is ridiculous if a violinist or any kind of instrumentist cannot play certain virtuosismos. They would not be able to even be called a concertist, because not being able to perform that, of course, it would be, they couldn't even imagine of making a career. Well, now, the singer that cannot perform certain virtuosismos should not sing, according to me. I hate to say this. It's very cruel, I suppose. But once upon a time, it was considered a voice not efficient, that is, a voice with defaults, and did other parts but could not sing these parts. Today, with Puccini, whom I do admire, Verdi, of course, is still of the old kind. In fact, his first operas, and even his recent operas, were inspired from the 18th century. I, that have sung 18th century operas and sing Verdi, there's sometimes that I really start laughing myself, because they have entirely the same structure of the 18th century. He was inspired by those Bellini, Donizetti, terribly, terribly much. Now, I must say that the operas, as I was saying, of Puccini are much easier to sing. So they don't require all this flexibility of the voice. Therefore, in studying, you don't require and you don't study all this virtuosismo. For instance, I'm quite sure that singers, even great singers, have never heard of Panofka, Conconi, and other books of this kind, which would be, of course, the lessons in piano. I don't remember whether it was Clementi and so forth and so on. I mean, anyone would know those preparations for great concert or great operatic music. The preparation of trills, the preparations of distances, of vocali, of scales, of runs, and all those, of legati. This is all so complicated and very difficult, but so interesting and so important for music. You see, music, voice, is not only vocal tone. I know vocal tone is very important, but especially music is most important. A great artist must do music and sacrifice lots of times vocal tone. Expression is important. If we do not use expression in certain things, then we are very mechanical. And being mechanical, we only should do then oratorio, or we should do scales and trills. Now, a singer that is not capable of doing this virtuosismo, according to me, it, of course, is another world, I must say. You don't have to do it, so you can sing just Puccini and very certain operas of Verdi, limited operas of Verdi. But, of course, there is another subject I will touch. This subject is that I am attributed of having rivals. I'm afraid I haven't. It's not being immodest that I say this, but my rivals cannot be considered such if they sing certain operas of Puccini and very few other composers who do not require the virtuosismo. The day when I will have other singers, men or women, that do the same things I do, that treat music as I do, and that sing the opera as I do, then will be considered my rivals. That is why I care so much to bring this into our conversation. Don't be shocked, dear public. I'd like to precise exactly why. You see, I sing a very vast repertoire. It starts from Norma and it goes to Pagliacci, which is, of course, a profanation, as they say. My rivals, so-called, only sing, may I say, they say a lot of operas, but I really see that they sing certain operas, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 the most, and they keep on singing those operas over and over again. I do not sing 4 or 5 operas. I do not take it easy in my work. I work a lot. And not only that, I take enormous responsibilities. Because you see, when one brings to life a Medea, an Anna Bolena, a Puritani, and so forth, they risk being a flop. They risk losing months of work, months of money, because, of course, during the work I do not gain money. It means enormous preparation, humility in working, sacrificing time and spiritual life also. It's worth it. Otherwise, it's no use singing just for the fun of singing. You know, I could sing very well Bohème, Aida. I don't know, it's the usual work, André Chenier. That's much easier. I don't know. I said just any opera that comes into my brain because they're rather easy to do, so long as you just... One can yell their heads off singing them, and one can really sing them musically. That is a different point. Let's not go into that subject, because music should always be done, not singing only. But, as I say, the day that my so-called rivals will sing the operas I sing, will do the same things I do, on stage will act as I do, will sacrifice themselves as I do. I mean sacrifice, as I said before, working with humility and bringing to life operas and contributing to the art, to the music, and to the history of music. Up to then, I do not consider having any rivals, and I'm quite sure my public, I don't know if I expressed myself rightly, but if I made myself clear, my dear public will understand that up to the point that these people will not be singing my same operas, will not be doing what I do, rivals I do not have.
Yes, we agree with that.
On the contrary, I can sing their operas. Others may like it more, others may like it less. That is beside the point. I can sing all operas because I can sing these operas, because I sing music, and singing music is not a specialty. Singing music, a musician must do everything. So you see, rivals I have not. And I'm sorry this nonsense has come out.
Well, we know, Mrs. Callas, that you are not afraid of any rival.
No, I'm not afraid of any rival, because I do not have one. Thank heavens for me, forgive my modesty, and unfortunately for art, because we could use more singers. For instance, I cannot go everywhere and show Medea, Norma, Anna Bolena, and this is music. This is precious music, and I would love it to go around the world and show it. So, as I say, the music is losing. The public also would love to hear these operas, and of course I can't be all over the world showing this music. Also, I would like to precise this. I hate people saying, or journalists or whoever these, or my enemies, or even my so-called colleagues sometimes. I'm speaking generally, not as individuals, please. Accuse me of wanting to do everything, of doing everything. It is not a matter of wanting to do everything. I do not do everything. I'm just doing my duty as a soprano, as a singer, trying to help music, contributing to it, and sacrificing myself for it. I have done, and I'm proud of it, and I will continue doing so. I would hope only that my colleagues, instead of talking so much, bothering so much about what I do, I wish they would bother about what they do and see what they do, try to do it better.